We are once again on the Winding Road Podcast. Welcome, friends. Blessings to you all. As of this recording, it is Easter weekend. It's not going to be by the time you hear this, so maybe I should tell you Happy 4th of July by the time I get done posting this. Maybe. Oh, man, I like to think about the microcosms a lot, and this just kind of hit me. And it's interesting now how that inner voice, that inner still voice, if you can find that a perfect peace and worldly distraction to just F all that stuff, man. F all that stuff. And once we do start effing all that stuff, then we are able, I really believe it, we hear that inner voice a lot more clear. God, the love, the more within us, easier to hear. And it's interesting how sometimes now I'll get these little hints of things, and then I'll notice that, it's like, okay, I'm getting a hint here. I'm like, ooh, and then I get excited. For what I'm going to be told. But then whenever you get excited about listening, not thinking, listening to that inner still voice, then I do start wanting to think about what I'm being told by that inner voice. So then the thoughts can get in there and they can mix and mingle. But I found that was just happening to me a little while ago, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm trying to be told something here about the mic, and I'm going to get to what I was being told in a minute, but it was just a hint of it. Then I'm like, okay, I'm going to put my hat on, and then I start thinking about it, and then I'm like, okay, but I'm like, nope. I can't think about it. It's going to come to me when it comes to me, and that reminds me a microcosm within a microcosm within a microcosm, or just an example of, if you're like trying to think of somebody's name, or you're trying to think of a place, or you're just trying to think about something. What happens whenever we try to think about it? We overthink it. It doesn't come to us. We have to stop thinking about it in order to remember it. And then out of the blue, it's like, oh, talk about something else. It'll come to me in a minute. So we stop thinking about it, and you just listen to the inner workings of your brain, to the deep subconscious, and eventually, just like because we're blocking it. If we're overthinking it, we're blocking things. We're blocking things if we're overthinking them and they're not able to come through. But if we just let them happen naturally and just like, all right, well, okay, I'm gonna do something else for right now. That'll come to me when it comes to me. And then boom. It's a free path. It's like it's like a down tree in the road. It's like a log in a stream, like can't get across because there's something blocking it. But whenever that, like, all right, well, cool, I'm gonna have to sit here for a while these guys move a tree. I could go a different way, I guess, but maybe. But then I might not be able to get back to that path that I was on, so I'm just going to sit here and wait. I'm going to wait patiently, and I'm not even going to worry about it, not even going to think about it, I'm not going to overthink it, I'm just going to wait patiently, and eventually the road cleared, boom. Whatever it was that's in you is going to come out. You're going to be able to think about it and remember it. And so I was hearing that inner voice just a little bit, like I said, and I started to think about it, and I was like, no, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to trust that whatever is being told to me is going to come out, and I'm going to be able to have that enter my brain via God, via the more, and I'm going to that'll enter my brain, and I'll be able to understand what's being told to me, because I can't get my own thinking in the way. And I know this probably sounds fucking bananas to people. And I get that. And I was that way for a long, long time. I believed in God. I believed in the more. in the energy and the light. I believed in it, but and I had faith, but I never really felt it. And I do think by doing all the worldly stuff blocks it. Absolutely, 1,000% blocks it. And since I've gotten away from all that, it's coming more clear now. And it's an enlightening period, for sure. I told you about my dream in the third eye, and this staring at myself laying in bed asleep in my dream. Or maybe it was an out-of-body experience, I don't know. And then it said, wake up, sleepyhead. It's time to separate the living from the dead. But here's what was told to me a minute ago in this microcosm. Because I was thinking about the eternal. And I've been watching a lot more of the near-death experiences and I read it in the Universal Human. I read it in The Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukav, talking about earth schools. Like, yeah, we're in a school. We're in an earth school now. And, and it's just so funny because I get on here and talk about a journey, a test, a trial, like this life, what are we trying, what do we need to learn here while we're here? And then I hear on there talking about an earth school. And so I'm thinking about that earth school, and I'm thinking about the eternal, and I'm thinking about how, as kids, or innocence of kids, and how to kids, it's like they don't know what death is. They don't know that. They have no clue. They have no concept of it. No concept of it. Whenever you're a kid, it just seems like everything's going to go on forever, and you're going to be a kid forever. Yeah, you see people that are grown up, it's like, yeah, but you can't even really fathom it as a kid. You're so locked in doing whatever it is that you're doing as a kid, and you're locked into that. We got a motorcycle turning in front of us on the winding road. You're locked into that as a kid, and it's just like nothing else, man. You're an eternal being. Then you're so innocent, and you have no clue, really, that you're going to get old, that your bones are going to start aching after you don't play softball, which is I did recently, for the first time in 10 years, and then you're sore for like 2 days. I'm like, oh boy, kids have no clue of that. And I got to thinking about how whenever we get sent from the spiritual world to this physical world, and the birth into this physical world, it's because we're coming out of that spiritual world, out of the eternal world. I think we've always been, and I think all the energy's all connected, like it's been talking about in here recently. It's all connected, so we've always been. And so whenever we go out of that spiritual world and into this world, well, yeah, we come out. We come out as a child. We come out as an innocent. And gradually, over time, we start to realize that in this life, we're going to die. Quote unquote. The body is going to die. But as a kid, it's like you're coming out of that eternal. So you have to go through the time period there where you don't remember a darn thing. And then as a kid, they talk about kids' brains basically being like you're tripping on mushrooms or acid or whatever it is, that people do that takes them to these deeper spiritual places and understanding. That's got a bad rap over the years, but we're starting to see that come around now in treating people's and helping people's depressions, anxieties, the microdosing and all that thing. Look it up, research it. Starting to come around on those things being able to help us. But they say that kids, and I don't remember exactly where I read it or what the exact percentage is, but basically kids are like tripping on mushrooms. It's just like everything's so new, everything's so bright, everything's so crazy. It's crazy as kids and so magnificent, and you're awe-inspired and wondrous and curious and all those things, and then we get hardened by this world, by things that happen when we grow up. I ain't doing it. Yeah, I did it for a while. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm going to be just like a kid every day, awe and wonder. it's mixing between the two, awe and wonder between having that, but also having the ability to learn. Bounce! We gotta jump, we gotta bounce on the winding road. That's a trampoline. It's a good way to get people in your car. Maybe don't scare the driver, but like to do that on the winding road. Count the bounces. Buddy gets me good, man. He'll yell. I will be driving, but I'm used to it now, so I don't really get too startled from it. But let's not get off subject here. Just silly, man. I like being silly, and that laughter, joy. That's what gets you joy. But I was thinking about that the other day with some kids I was around, and just how much fun they were having, and how the other person I was with getting a little bit annoyed. And so it is easy to get annoyed by kids, and just how much fun they're having and being rambunctious and stuff like that. But I was like, immediately I started thinking about the mushroom things, and then the few times that I did that, and thinking about, man, yeah, that's what that it is. That's what that feels like. Everything's just so, wow, look at this grass. Holy shit, I'm actually watching the grass grow. I can see the grass growing. What the F is going on here? What's happening? It's real deal. It's real deal, man. And then I was just thinking about those kids, and so immediately I was like, I was starting to get annoyed, but then I was thinking about how everything is just so wondrous to them, and it goes to putting yourself in other people's shoes. So immediately I stopped being annoyed by it, and I joined in. I'm like, yeah, buddy, look at that tree, look at this, look at that. It is freaking amazing and so glorious. But yeah, I think somehow that microcosm, that time period of being kids is like, that's a glimpse of the future. That's a glimpse of back to the spiritual. We're back to the eternal existence of the Spirit. And I think we get a glimpse of that on this earth as kids. As kids on this earth. I really do. It's just amazing to me. That's about really all I was thinking about today, man. Pretty interesting, and then just getting to the place where I'm able to really think deeply about stuff, but yet live every single day not worrying about any of that extra stuff. It's just learning. It's just learning. And talk about all these people that they're all different experiences, but they're all so similar whenever they have those near-death experiences. And they get a glimpse into that eternity. And how everybody talks about it, man, it is truly all about love. It really is. Like, the greatest love that I can have, and I can build it up every single day. Just try to keep building it up, and learning from mistakes, and just keep building it up, man. But it's not even going to come close. Not even in the same ballpark. Not even in the same stratosphere of the love that we will feel whenever we go towards the light of God, of the more of the light. I get on there, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like people talk about it, but how many of us actually truly grasp it, man? Like, I want to grasp it. I'm trying to grasp the concept. That's why I love hearing about people's stories, because it takes me deeper into that grasping of it, and not everybody's going to be able to grasp it. Everybody, like living that, oh, cool, yep, and making and keeping it simple. Like, I respect that as well. I respect the keeping it simple, but apparently I wasn't put here to keep it simple. Everybody's brains in these bodies. Their spirits that get inside these brains, our brains are all different. They're all different, but we're all connected. We're all the same. The darkest of the dark, the lightest of the light. like I talked about before, man, big circle. Think somehow, I'm gonna circle back around. I can't judge anybody. I can't. I try my best not to. And just show love, man. Oh, bubby. I said bubby. We got 2 cardinals on the winding road. That was sweet. The stuff's not passe to me, man. Every time I see a cool bird, cardinal, every time, just pure awe, pure reverence. Every single time. It doesn't become old to me. I know a lot of times I let stuff pass by, and in the moment, we don't really fully grasp it. And then we're out of it, and we look back and we're like, man, that was a good time. Like, I wish that I would have embraced it more and fully taken it in more. I have a lot of those moments in my life, As simple as looking somebody in the eyes that you love and telling them that you love them and hugging them, not just a quick, hey, love you, gotta go, see ya. And of course I still do that, but, it's just taking that extra time to go over to them, give them a hug. Like, I don't take that stuff for granted anymore, man. I don't take it for granted. And I think about, too, like, more and more, like, whenever people die, I'm happy for them. Like, I'm like happy for them. That's weird. I know, weird to say, but like, yeah, they're back home, man. They're back home. Yeah, maybe if they did some bad stuff, maybe they're gonna have to go to the dark for a while. Maybe I think they get zoomed back in, get another chance. Oh, big pet peeve on the winding road. We got people mowing their grass in the road. I used to get so upset, so angry about that. Like, freaking idiots. What are you doing mowing your grass in the road? Well, they'll learn eventually. Maybe in this lifetime, maybe not in this lifetime. They'll learn eventually to mow their grass the other way. No sweat off my back, something I can't control. I cannot control what that person is doing mowing their grass in the road. Now, could I go gently, kindly point it out to them like, hey man, you mind mowing it the other way, like, could shoot some stuff into the road that might make my tire go flat, It could. There's time and a place. You got to pick and choose when you're going to say things to try to help people. They may not be ready. They may not be ready to receive that help. We got to pick and choose. Listen to that still inner voice in us. It tells us, guides us every single day of our lives. I don't remember where I was at with the before the grass, but it's all beautiful. Even the dark days, they're beautiful. So joy down in my heart. That's where it's at. But I'm happy for people because they're home. I'm back home, and I'm like, now I'm like getting excited about meeting them. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff I want to do here. A lot of projects, a lot of things, a lot of loving, a lot of inspiring and uniting. Got a lot of that. Got to do that here. But I'm excited. I'm excited about playing disc golf in heaven one day. And the magic of it. We just get a glimpse, and just barely a glimpse of it here. Barely a glimpse of it, man. But I'm making the most of that glimpse. I hope you are too. I'm me, you're you, but we are each other. Love, inspire, unite. God bless.